Hey guys, I got another battle for you today in Frog's tournament against Wallyworld121212. Now I lead off with a Hippowdon because I decided to use my NU Sandstorm team since I didn't have a Hippowdon or Tyranitar. And he led off with Electrode, which I was really worried it was going to be a Sandstorm team, so I just started off with an Earthquake as he ends up switching to Flygon. Now I'm going to scout him with Protect to see if he's going to be Scarfed, and if he is, to see what he locks himself into. He locks himself into Earthquake, so I'm like, okay, I have a Sash, so I can take one of his hits and set up Stealth Rocks. But he ends up being Life Orb, which I did not see coming. So now, because of minimum damage hacks, I'm going to survive with 33 HP, and I yawn him, which is good. Yeah, so I predict a switch and yawn again because I want to get something asleep so I can start setting up either a layer of spikes or getting up a substitute with my Cacturn and just being a pain in the butt with Leech Seed and Sucker Punch, but he's just going to keep on switching as I try to get something asleep because I want to start setting up. And then eventually I'm just getting annoyed that nothing's falling asleep, so next turn I go with an Earthquake as he switches into his Grumpig. Oh yeah, by the way, the reason my hippo is named Hungry is after hungry hippos. In case you guys didn't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. I want to force him to kill me, and I went with an Earthquake instead of a Protect to see if I was worried about him setting up, I don't know, like light screens or recovering, but he just ends up going with a Psychic. Hahaha. Frog sent me a funny message. Okay, there we go. So I send in my Zapdos, which was a terrible mistake. As you'll see, I go with a Heat Wave, completely forgetting about Grumpig's special walling capabilities and Thick Fat. So yes, screw me. I was pretty much just slapping myself across my face as I did that. He goes with a Psychic as I went for a Thunderbolt that turn, I think. And now, next turn, I'm just going to end up going for a Roost as I wait for Sandstorm to take him out. Yep, went with the Roost, no pair hacks that turn. And I roost off the damage as he dies to Sandstorm, which is good for me. I'm gonna eat some lefties, nom nom nom. Now he switches into Heracross. Now I was worried when I was I was wondering what set this was going to be, whether it's going to be like a Guts set or Sword Stance set or Choice set, so I just end up with a Roost to scout what he was going to do. If he was Choice set, I know I could take one of his hits and Roost off the damage, then switch into a Pokemon that would take a Stone Edge nicely, but he ends up being a burn set, and I'm not talking fast enough as first turn we both get a little bit of hacks. He misses Stone Edge, and I just end up getting a pair of hacks as I think I went for the Heat Wave. Now I'm going to switch into my Dusclops to take the Stone Edge somewhat nicely. And yeah, that does about quarter damage, which is nice. Now next turn, alright, now I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself now. Next turn, I'm going to predict a Mega Horn and double switch right back into Zapdos, so that way his Heracross is going to get worn down to Burn and Sandstorm, but he ends up switching into Blastoise, which is okay for me. I can do some major damage with Thunderbolt while taking a Surf or an Ice Beam, but I really should have kept my Zapdos at full health with that Flygon and Metagross because Zapdos can take hits from both of those pretty well. But I just end up staying in, taking the Ice Beam, and hitting him back with a Thunderbolt, which was a stupid move, as now I am left with below half health, which is quite bad. Quite bad, because now this really limits my Zapdos's capability of taking on both Metagross and Flygon, so I'm just gonna switch into my Semtex! which is a reference to the Spetsnaz faction in Modern Warfare 2, because every time they throw a Semtex, they yell out, Semtex! And Quillfish is shaped like a ball, so I just call it Semtex. Now this is a more defensive Quillfish, so I think I'm going to set up a layer of spikes, but he switches into Metagross, which is going to which is just a big threat to my team along with Flygon, as I said earlier. So I am going to go ahead and switch out to my Zapdos to see how well I can take a hit from it. But he goes with the Zen Headbutt, and thankfully it misses, because look, later on you'll see that Zen Headbutt does a fair amount of damage, and at right here it will probably be a 2-hit KO. So I'm kind of glad he missed. And I switch right back out into Invisible Spray as he goes with a Thunder Punch. I take that nicely, but I get the Parahax, which was okay. Doesn't really matter too much to me because now he can Paraflinch me. He predicts the Will-O-Wisp, which I was going to go for, but I knew he also wanted to switch, so I decided to go with the Pain Split to see what he might go into, and possibly gets a little bit of HP back, but he goes into Electrode, which I Pain Split and only get like, I don't know, like 1 HP back, which was completely pointless. Right here, I make probably the worst play in the whole game. I stay in to take the Thunderbolt and hit it back with an Earthquake when I should have gone to Cradily, set up a curse or something so that way I can take hits better from Metagross and Flygon. But instead now, I'm leaving my only Will-O-Wisper out there in the field with 32 HP to die to a Life Orb Flygon's Stab, Dragon Claw, which is pretty bad. I gotta say, that's pretty bad. I switch into my Shaktis because I know he wants it. He would probably, if he expects a Sucker Punch, he's gonna leave and fly on his dead father. If not, I'll surprise him with Sucker Punch. Now right here, I go right here. He's gonna go ahead and go for the Iron Head, I think. Yeah, I don't have a safe switch in, so he just goes with the Iron Head as I went for the Leech Seed, but I end up getting flinched. Now, later on you'll see that my Sucker Punch is gonna bring him down to, let's see, I don't know, like 30%-ish. Now, if I had the Leech Seed, after 3 turns, he would have died. Because if he switched out, he would have, because it's already been 2 turns if he stayed in, right? So that would bring him down to red, and that would force him to stay in. Otherwise, next time he'll switch in, he's going to die to Stealth Rocks and Spikes. But now this game is completely in his favor as I lost 1 wall to take on this Metagross, and all I have is a Zapdos with less than half health, who is paralyzed as well, and he is going to use Paraflinching to completely wreck my Zapdos over. This almost always happens to my Zapdos. Like, if you watch my other videos with Zapdos, Zapdos almost always gets paralyzed and then Paraflinched to death. So yeah, right here I'm like, oh my goodness, this is useless. I've lost this battle. And he goes for Iron Head. I'm like, wait, that's not very effective. And I get off a Roost, which is like, yes! Yes! Comeback! I smell a comeback! Yeah, let's go Zapdos! So now he goes to the Zen Headbutt as I go make a misclick and go for the Roost again when I should have killed it. And then I'm like, okay, alright. I fought the hacks again. I got a Roost. I have more HP. I'm like, okay, this is okay. I'm not that worried I'm not too badly worried anymore. Now he goes for the neutral headbutt. I'm like, crap! Crap! I flinched. It's okay. I still have like, I don't know, like 2 more chances to hit it back. Maybe 1 more chance to hit it back. Right? Right? Can I hit it? No! No, okay, Zen headbutt. I'm like, okay, okay. No! No! Well, there goes my Zapdos. So yeah, so much for a comeback. Thanks a lot, Zapdos. You get me up on false hopes and stuff. Then you just go ahead and die. That was just a waste of time for me. If I knew my Zapdos was gonna get off 2 roosts, only to die again later, I might as well just have fled from this battle. So this match is coming down to a close. He ironheads me to 88 HP as I do pitiful damage with Rock Slide, and this is going to be pretty much game. So good game, Wally World 12-12-12. Good luck in Frogs tournament as I am out of it, and see you guys next time. Bye.